Let's be brutally honest for a second. Most men have no idea what truly makes a woman want them. They chase, they text, they plan dates, they try to prove they're good enough, and yet she loses interest faster than she followed you. Here's the controversial truth: women don't chase men because of looks, money, or charm, they chase power. But not the kind of power you think. Not muscles, not status, not dominance. The power I'm talking about is emotional control. The rare ability to stay calm, detached, and grounded even when you desire her. It's the unspoken rule that flips the script. Because the moment you stop trying to win her, she starts trying to win you. Think about it. Women are constantly surrounded by men who want something from them: attention, validation, sex, affection. But when she meets a man who doesn't need her, who treats her presence as a bonus, not a necessity, her brain reacts differently. She begins to chase, not because she's told to, but because her instincts push her to. This rule is subtle, it's psychological, it's powerful. And once you understand it, you'll stop competing with other men and start standing above them. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the man who appears to care less often ends up with more. 1. Stop proving your worth, make her earn you. Most men destroy their own attraction without realizing it. They meet a woman they like and instantly switch into performance mode. Suddenly, they're trying too hard, sending too many messages, complimenting every photo, paying for everything, doing favors she never asked for. Why? Because deep down, they're trying to prove they're good enough to be chosen. But here's the harsh truth: the moment you try to prove your value, you lower it. You communicate that you don't believe you're already enough. Women are experts at sensing that energy. When you act like you need her approval, she stops seeing you as a prize and starts seeing you as a follower. Real attraction begins when you stop chasing validation and start making her qualify for your time. That means you ask yourself, does she add peace, fun, or value to my life? Instead of, what do I need to do to make her like me? This mental shift alone changes the dynamic completely. You become the man she wants to impress, not the other way around. One example: think about two men. The first one takes her out and spends the night trying to impress her. Expensive dinner, endless compliments, nervous laughter. The second guy takes her for coffee, listens calmly, stays centered, and subtly asks questions that make her talk about what she brings to a relationship. Guess which one she thinks about later that night? It's the second one. Because he didn't perform, he evaluated. He made her feel like she had to earn his attention. The truth is, women chase what they can't fully predict. When she feels like your interest must be earned, her desire to earn it grows. When you make yourself too available, you remove the excitement. The modern man must unlearn the habit of proving his worth and start mastering selective attention, rewarding the right behavior, not begging for connection. When you become the man who knows his value, every woman around you starts to feel it, and the ones who recognize it will chase it. 3. Attention is her drug. Don't feed the addiction. Here's a truth most men don't want to hear: the modern woman is addicted to attention. Likes, compliments, DMs, stares. It's all part of her daily fuel. She doesn't even realize it, but attention gives her a hit of validation the same way nicotine gives a smoker relief. And every man who gives it freely becomes just another dose in her system. Now, I'm not saying women are bad for enjoying attention. Everyone enjoys being noticed. But the problem is that most men overfeed it. They pour endless attention into women who haven't earned an ounce of effort from them. They comment, they chase, they double text, they orbit her social media like she's a celebrity, and then they wonder why she's not interested. It's simple. You can't desire what you already have in abundance. When she gets too much attention from you, she doesn't value it. She starts to see it as background noise, but when your attention is rare, it becomes valuable. Women crave what feels scarce. If every man is giving her attention and you're the one man who doesn't, you instantly stand out. You don't even have to say much. Your silence becomes louder than their compliments. Here's what most men don't realize: the more you feed her attention addiction, the less she respects you, because deep down, she knows she didn't have to earn it. She didn't have to show effort, respect, or depth. She just existed. But when a man makes her work for his focus, she starts thinking differently. She starts asking herself, why isn't he chasing me like the others? That's when curiosity, and attraction begin. When you learn to control your attention, you gain leverage. You're no longer one of the background voices trying to impress her. You become the man whose energy she can't easily access, and that scarcity triggers desire. Attention is currency. Don't spend it cheaply. Give it only to women who reciprocate with respect, effort, and genuine interest. Because the moment you stop feeding her with constant validation, she'll start craving the one thing every woman truly wants: a man whose focus must be earned. 4, the more you chase, the faster she runs. Let's face it, too many men have forgotten how to be men. You meet a woman, and instantly you lose yourself. You start chasing, texting first, planning everything, checking if she saw your story. You think your consistency is attractive, but really, it's desperation in disguise. You're not leading, you're following. Here's the truth most men don't want to hear: the more you chase her, the faster she runs. Why? Because chasing communicates imbalance. It tells her that your world revolves around her approval, and no woman truly respects a man who treats her like a prize he hasn't earned yet. Women don't fall for men who chase, they fall for men who move with purpose, men who are already on their path, already focused, already fulfilled. A man who's too busy building his own life doesn't have time to obsess over someone who hasn't chosen him yet. And that's exactly what makes him irresistible. But most guys don't get that. They think effort equals attraction. So they smother her with attention, drown her in messages, and try to convince her they're the nice guy. Wake up. Being nice isn't the problem, and being needy is. You need to understand something. Attraction is emotional, not logical. You can't persuade a woman into wanting you. You can't convince her into respect. The more you try, the more you remind her that you're beneath her emotionally. And she'll always be drawn to the one man who doesn't need to prove himself. Stop begging for love with your actions. Stop thinking that constant effort equals loyalty. The strongest men are not the ones who chase love. They attract it by staying grounded, focused, and disciplined. Every time you feel the urge to chase, redirect that energy. Go to the gym, build your business, improve your confidence, do something that raises your value instead of lowering it. Because here's the hard truth: if you keep chasing, you'll never be chosen. A real man doesn't run after validation. He builds himself until the right woman realizes she can't run from him, because he's exactly the man she's been chasing her whole life. 5, emotional control is the real masculine energy. Here's a truth that separates boys from men: emotional control is power. Every man wants to be seen as strong, confident, and masculine. But real masculine energy isn't about muscles or money. It's about staying grounded when everyone else is losing their minds. Most men today are emotionally weak. The moment a woman pulls away, they panic. The moment she doesn't reply, they spiral. They let one woman's mood control their entire day. That's not attraction. That's emotional dependency. Women can sense this instantly. When she sees that her silence breaks you, that your mood changes because of her, she loses respect. Why? Because deep down, she's wired to seek a man who can lead, not one who crumbles under pressure. A man who controls his emotions controls the frame, and whoever controls the frame controls the dynamic. You need to understand this. Women test men emotionally, not because they're cruel, but because they want to feel your stability. If she can shake you, she knows she can control you, and the chase dies right there. But if you stay calm, unbothered, and collected, something shifts in her mind. She realizes you're not reacting like the rest. You become the man she can't predict. And that unpredictability creates attraction. Emotional control doesn't mean acting cold or emotionless. It means knowing when to engage and when to step back. It means you can feel everything, but you don't act on every feeling. That restraint is rare, and women notice it immediately. Men, it's time to stop letting emotions lead you into weakness. Every outburst, every panic text, every overreaction, it chips away at your masculine frame. Stop giving your power away to temporary emotions. Start practicing silence when you want to explode. Start walking away instead of arguing. Start observing before reacting. That's how you develop true control. Because once you master your emotions, you master yourself. And when a woman realizes you can't be easily triggered, she feels something deeper than attraction. She feels safety, admiration, and curiosity. That's the kind of energy she chases, not the loud man, not the emotional one, but the one who's calm when others would crumble. 6. Silence creates attraction. Talk less, mean more. Men talk themselves out of attraction more than they realize. They think if they say the right words, tell the perfect story, or compliment her just enough, she'll finally like them. But the truth? The more you talk, the more predictable you become. And predictability kills attraction. Silence, when used correctly, is one of the most powerful tools a man can have. It's not about being rude or ignoring her. It's about knowing when your words stop adding value. Most men don't realize how powerful quiet confidence is. That calm energy that says, I don't need to fill every moment with noise. You see, women are emotional communicators. They read body language, tone, and presence far more than your actual words. When you can sit in silence and remain comfortable, she feels something rare: security. But when you keep talking nervously, trying to keep her entertained, she senses your anxiety. Silence creates space. And in that space, curiosity grows. She begins to wonder what you're thinking, why you're so calm, what you're not saying. That's when she starts leaning in, asking questions, and trying to break that silence. That's how attraction begins to work in your favor. Men who can master silence also master self control. They know how to observe before they respond. They don't rush to impress or over explain. They let their energy speak louder than their words. And when they do speak, their words land harder, because they're not wasted. Most guys ruin their chances by talking too much, explaining their intentions, over texting, constantly reassuring her. But the man who's comfortable in silence shows that he's already in control of himself. He doesn't need to fill every pause, and that restraint separates him from the crowd. Silence isn't emptiness, it's confidence in motion. It's a statement that says, I'm not here to prove myself. You'll figure me out in time. Men, learn to let silence work for you. Stop trying to fill every gap with words. Sometimes your absence of speech is what makes her presence feel louder. Talk less, mean more. When you say less, every word carries weight. Because a man who doesn't rush to speak, that makes every woman rush to listen. Rush to. 7. She wants the challenge, not the comfort. Men, this is where most of you lose the game without even realizing it. You think if you're nice enough, consistent enough, and always there for her, she'll see your loyalty and choose you. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Women don't fall for comfort, they fall for challenge. She might say she wants a sweet, predictable man who gives her everything she asks for, but that's not what ignites her emotions. What draws her in is the man she can't fully figure out. The one who pushes her to grow, who keeps her slightly on edge, who doesn't fold the second she tests him. Women are emotional creatures, and emotions thrive on contrast: tension, uncertainty, excitement. When a man gives her too much comfort too soon, he removes the emotional roller coaster that makes attraction come alive. Comfort feels safe, yes, but safe can quickly become boring. Now, don't twist this. Now, being a challenge doesn't mean playing games or being toxic. It means having boundaries, purpose, and standards. It means you don't just give your time, energy, or affection to anyone who asks for it. You make her earn her place in your life, not through manipulation, but through mutual respect and effort. Women respect men who challenge them to be better. They chase men who have a mission outside of them. They crave the man who inspires growth, not the one who constantly seeks permission. When you become that man, you stop being an option and start becoming a goal. Men who confuse being nice with being easy often end up hurt. They give everything early thinking they're building connection, but they're actually removing the thrill. A woman can only feel deep attraction when she feels she's earning your attention, not when it's handed to her without effort. So stop trying to make her comfortable all the time. Challenge her to meet your standards. Stay focused on your own path and never lose your edge just to keep her happy. Because the second you do, she stops seeing you as the man she admired and starts seeing you as the man she controls. Remember this: women may enjoy comfort, but they chase the challenge. Be the man who keeps her guessing, growing, and respecting you, not the man who gives her everything and loses her anyway. 8. Respect yourself more than you desire. Her men, this is where everything changes. You can't make a woman respect you if you don't first respect yourself. Too many men put women above themselves and then wonder why they end up ignored, used, or replaced. It's not because they're not good enough, it's because they've made her the center of a world that should belong to them. Here's the hard truth: the moment you desire her more than you respect yourself, you lose power. When you prioritize her attention over your peace, her opinion over your standards, or her approval over your mission, you stop being the man she was drawn to in the first place. Respect for yourself means you don't chase where you're not valued. You don't beg for energy that's not reciprocated. You don't try to convince someone to see your worth. You know your worth and you move accordingly. That's not arrogance, that's masculine clarity. When a man respects himself, everything about him changes: his tone, his posture, his choices. He doesn't tolerate disrespect. He doesn't cling to situations that drain him, and he doesn't lose himself in temporary feelings. He understands that emotional control is self respect in action. Men who lack self respect often think desire alone is enough to keep a woman interested. They think, if I just show her how much I care, she'll stay. But care without confidence looks like desperation. Desire without self worth looks like weakness. And women feel that instantly. You have to learn to want her without needing her. That's the balance of masculine strength: to appreciate beauty without worshiping it, to love deeply but never at the cost of your dignity. Respecting yourself also means having standards for your own behavior. Don't text when you know you shouldn't. Don't chase when she's showing disinterest. Don't lower your energy for someone who's testing how low you'll go. Stand tall. Let your silence communicate what words can't, because when a woman sees a man who refuses to lose himself for anyone, that's when she starts to chase him. Not out of ego, but out of admiration. Never forget, a man who respects himself doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't need to beg for love or attention. He simply is the standard. And the moment you become that man, every woman will feel it. 10. When you walk away, she finally follows. There's a moment every man faces. That point where you've given enough, tried enough, and she still doesn't see your worth. Most men break there. They cling harder, text more, try to fix things. But the men who truly understand attraction do the opposite. They walk away. And that's the paradox. The moment you stop chasing, you become the one being chased. Walking away isn't about manipulation. It's not a trick. It's a declaration of self-respect. It says, I will not stay where I'm not valued. And women feel that energy. They feel when a man detaches not out of anger, but out of peace. That kind of calm confidence is impossible to ignore. See, when you're always available, she never has to question your presence. She knows you'll stay no matter how little she invests. But when you walk away with dignity, when you remove your attention, your time, and your energy, it forces her to confront a reality she never considered. You were the one bringing value all along. The truth is, most men stay in situations that drain them because they're afraid of losing her. But walking away doesn't mean losing. It means choosing yourself first. It means trusting that your value doesn't depend on who stays. And here's what happens. Once she realizes your silence isn't anger, but indifference, everything shifts. She remembers your energy, your presence, your composure. And slowly she begins to chase, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it through strength. Men, the power is never in the chase. It's in the ability to walk away without looking back. Because when you no longer need her validation, that's when she finally feels your absence and understands what she lost. Conclusion. Let's end this with something that might sting a little, but it's the truth most men don't want to hear. Women don't fall in love with the man who gives them everything. They fall in love with the man they can't completely have. That's the hidden rule nobody wants to talk about. You can be loyal, kind, hardworking, and still lose her to a man who shows less. Why? Because she doesn't want perfection. She wants emotion. She wants mystery. She wants the chase. Men, stop thinking love is earned through effort. It's earned through energy, through presence, through discipline. The man who's calm in chaos, who knows his worth, and who can walk away without hesitation, that's the man she remembers when she's alone at night. That's the man she compares every other man to. If that sounds harsh, good. It's supposed to wake you up. The truth isn't comfortable, but it's liberating. Because once you understand how attraction really works, you stop begging for attention and start commanding respect. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever chased someone who lost interest the moment you showed too much? Or have you been in that situation where walking away flipped everything? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one, and I'll reach out personally to connect with some of you. Let's start a real conversation about what's happening between men and women today, because this was just the beginning. In the next video, we're diving even deeper into the one trait that makes women respect you instantly, even before they realize they're doing it.